Choosing a bottled Starbucks Frappuccino drink that's all flavor and just 100 calories? Easy. Choosing between creamy vanilla, double chocolate, and sea salt caramel flavors? A little harder. Try the delicious new Starbucks Frappuccino light drinks. Look for them wherever you buy groceries. Start with Starbucks coffee.
My name is Lily, and I've had hidradenitis suppurativa, HS, for years. I finally found some relief since taking Cosentyx. Relief means I can show up more.
Cosentyx secukinumab is prescribed for adults with moderate to severe hidradenitis suppurativa, HS. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur, like tuberculosis or other serious bacterial, fungal, or viral infections. Some are fatal. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms like fevers, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, had a vaccine or plan to, or if inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions and severe eczema-like skin reactions may occur. Learn more at 1-844-COSENTYX or Cosentyx.com.
Ask your dermatologist about Cosentyx.
You're listening to Me and Paranormal You with your host, Ryan Singer. It's more fun to believe. Third year bonus.
Well, I'd like to have clear sky, or where we can. Yeah, because this was about right here where we did it last time, where we just drove by. So down by these yellow poles. Yeah, we'll just have to make sure we're not super close to the fire ants. Hey there, we're gonna be camping out at Mutilation Ranch tonight. So welcome to it's going to be kind of a hybrid episode of 30-year bonus and interview. I'm here with Greg Feinman, the lead investigator for UOR Investigations. You can see back there in the Jeep. And this is Mutilation Ranch, and we're going to be camping out somewhere right out here tonight. And with any luck, we're going to get some clear skies. The forecast calls for cloudiness all night, but I think we're going to get lucky. And in the distance is Tom Miller's ranch. Very excited to be back out here camping out for, just for the sake of experiencing and seeing incredible things out here, Mutilation Ranch. So I'll be checking in throughout the night. It's about 1:30, a little before 2 o'clock, I think. Right before 2 o'clock p.m. on Monday afternoon. We're getting the tent set up. This is where we're camping out. Probably put a bonfire right over here. Wow. I mean, just look how gorgeous that is. And this, I think, is where the action will be happening in those skies. Came from the north last time, that's due north. It's snowing those. I think it is cottonwood. I mean, look at this. Prelude to a magical day and evening. Dry, fluffy rain. I'm taking you a little tour here of just a portion of the property. Oh. So my sunglasses. So you can see some tire tracks here. This is about as far as we've ever traveled in by car. And this is, well, a little further. And the gifting area is back here, where Greg and Mama Sue established a gifting basket for Oma. Oh, and there's the water. We'll get a peek of that, because I don't think you've seen the water. Now, if you're not familiar with this property, Mutilation Ranch, there's a buried tire. Mutilation Ranch has been on multiple television programs. UFO Witness, it's been Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, I think is the most recent, about 2 seasons ago or 2 years ago, and some other shows. Here's the gifting basket. Currently empty. We had some apples, but we forgot them. And we don't know the next time we're going to be back out here to even be able to check. So we had a lot of gear to bring out here in one car, and we were kind of rushing today to get out here, because we only got about 16 hours on the property. So up through here is where you can drive through. Let's go to the water for you, so you can see what I believe is the Purgatory River. Now, if you know the story of Fitz, you know there's a spirit of a missing woman on this property that Mama Sue and Greg have been in contact with for a few years now, who has given information about her disappearance, her still unsolved murder, abduction and murder. And Purgatory River ties into that story. Wow, it is beautiful right here. Look at this. Oh! That startled me. I mean, it's easy for me to be startled in general, let alone when I'm on a property like Mutilation Ranch. Even during the daytime, I will be jumpy. And I'm camping out here, sleeping in a tent by myself. Greg will be in his tent. I thought Dan Lindholm would be here. Dan has been delayed. So it'll be a true test of my camp worthiness to see if I'm able to sleep tonight. Wow. I hope you're watching on video. I gotta really stress that you should be watching the podcast, this episode of the podcast, on Spotify where there's video. Patrons also have video uploaded ad-free for $3 a month. Some of this stuff doesn't deserve talking over it visually. This is just kind of a peek right here of some of the property. I've known Greg going on 5 years now, and it doesn't seem like that long, but golly, I guess it's been that long. And unfortunately, we got some bad news about Mama Sue. Doctors have given her 6 months to live with liver failure. We went and visited her yesterday. We'll probably visit her again on Thursday, the day after the screening here in Trinidad. But I'll keep you posted. And if you'd like to send me any messages you want me to pass along to Mama Sue, in case you're a patron and have seen the documentary already, let me know, and I'll be happy to do that. Wow. What do you think, Greg? What are your early feelings? I got you on camera here for the pod. Do you think it's going to be, what's the energy feel like for you here?
You know, I always feel like they're anticipating when we're coming out. They know when we're coming out. They get excited. You know, I know Oma does. We didn't bring apples this time, but I don't think they're coming to get them, to be honest with you, because we're on the ranch and we're this close. And then we don't have a way to come back and check, you know, to see if they've taken them. But I do feel good about it. I think anytime that we come out, Fitz is going to do something for us. I'd like to try to make contact with who, and see if we can get her to come up to us. I feel what I'm getting from her, and I'm not Mama Sue by any means, but she's upset at us right now because we haven't been out here for a while. So we'll just see what happens. We'll try to get her to come to communicate. I'll try to get Oma to communicate tonight, and we'll just see what happens. And with the clouds out here like this, I don't know if we're going to have a good sky watching night or not. But
well, they come with the clouds.
They come with the storms, my friend.
Storms. And we got lots of ants out here as well. I can't tell if those are fire ants or not. But anyway, all out here, part of Mutilation Ranch.
Okay, one thing. Okay, so I've got to say that this investigation, what we received from Fitz is what we received from Fitz, good or bad. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything in this investigation or sugarcoat my findings. They are what they are, all right? This ranch has a 1 mile stretch of highway that crosses its property. And on that 1 mile stretch, prior to 2005, there's been 16 traffic accident related deaths. Tom Miller witnessed one of those accidents where a woman was killed. The driver was killed. He said the car was traveling eastbound on the highway at about 65 miles an hour, and it began levitating off of the ground. And it turned perpendicular to the roadway, and whatever had a hold of it let it go, and it hit the ground and rolled, and the female occupant driver was killed. That being said, while in contact with Fitz, they told us why they're happening. They said that, okay, before I even get into that, I need to say that one of the things we found out that they're doing with the blood is they're creating life with the cow's blood. They're creating life. So that being said, these traffic accidents, Fitz is putting a person in a position where when the person is killed, they can grab the human spirit upon death and try to put it into and animate the body that they've created out of the cow's blood. But that ain't gonna work. Only God can breathe the breath of life into anything, What they're trying to do isn't gonna work, and we told them that, and since that time, there hasn't been another UBD on this ranch. So we don't know if they've stopped or not, but I know that this ranch is overdue for one. But that being said, 1 Corinthians 15 talks about that we're going to be changed in a twinkling of an eye into these incorruptible bodies. Well, where do you think these bodies are coming from? Do you think God's going to just poof them into existence? I don't think so. He works through his creation. So that being said, Mama Sue said that there's some experimentation going on, but they're in a position, they're way more advanced than we are, way more advanced, and they have authority to do what they're doing, and they're doing it for our own good. They're doing it for our benefit, all right? Fitz told us that how important it is to be a good person. It is more important now to be a good person than ever, and that you need to turn to Christ right now before it's too late. That's the other part of this, that, I think Fitz is responsible for getting us out of here, but, on God's authority. And if, you're not in line with the Holy Spirit, you don't believe in Christ or whatever, then, you're not going to be taken. I'm not saying that I'm perfect by any way, shape, or form. I have my own demons to fight myself. I'm just spreading the word to everyone else. Fitz is doing some experimentation, but here's the thing. We as humans have been doing experimentation on animals for years. For years, we've been doing experimentation on animals. So, you know, we can't get all upset because we're being experimented on. But again, they're doing it for our own good. They're not doing it out of malice or hatred. You know, they're doing it out of love, and they do care for us.
So this is just some of the gear. Stovetop for coffee, the most important thing. Cooler. It's got probably way too much candy in there. Bluetooth speaker. One camera. Night vision goggles that record. So what are you hoping to capture on these goggles tonight or today, Greg?
Oh man, what am I hoping, or what do you think I'm going to get?
What are you hoping first?
I'm hoping to catch, you know, maybe a couple orbs. You know, I'm hoping to see something in the sky with these things. That would be the big thing, seeing something in the sky. You never know what you're going to get with these goggles out here at Mutilation Ranch. That's why I got them. I mean, you just never know. You know, one of the reasons I want is it records in 4K, and it's just a different way to document. You know, right now I'm gonna just film the cows that are off in the distance right there, and then we'll see what we get tonight. You know.
Would you be happy with tell people, because I don't know if we talked about it, the experience we had out here last time. How would you describe what you saw last time out here when we camped out I think it was end of August or September?
Well, I describe it as contact. The reason I say that is because nothing was going on. And, you know, you would ask me, you know, where to look for this, you know, where the best place we should start looking, north, south, east, or west. And again, I just felt it was coming from the north, you know.
Which, just for reference real quick, I want to show people, is right there. That's about due north right there.
Yeah, and so...
That's where you pointed.
Yeah, and the reason I call it contact is because I told Ryan, I told you that I'm going to go in my tent and I'm going to meditate, but I'm going to call out to them. And I'm going to ask them to show themselves to us tonight. So I went in and I started meditating and I started calling out. And just as I started calling out, you're calling me saying, Greg, get out here now, you know, kind of thing. And I wasn't moving fast enough for Ryan. And, you know, he's like, hurry, get out here. And so it was, as soon as I called out, all of a sudden we're getting, lights in the sky that were dancing around. And, you know, it was no helicopter. It was no airplane. It was, and the lights from the distance had to have been a big craft, whatever it was, had to have been big.
Very cool. So yeah, it just got windy for the very first time as soon as I started recording. It's been completely calm out here since we've been out here for a couple hours now, setting up and talking to the person who is now in charge of the land, leasing the land. We visited with them a little bit. As you can see here, we're going to be setting up a campfire under the stars, hopefully under the stars tonight, and not just only under the clouds. But I'm not worried about cloud cover because FITs, UFOs, UAPs, balls of light, orbs, spirit entities, or whatever we want to call them, they're not deterred by cloud cover. The cloud cover isn't going to bother them. If they want to be seen, they will be seen. And the clouds don't really matter. And if it's anything like our last trip out here, about a year ago, well, less than a year ago, it's going to be remarkable. And, you know, I don't expect them to, I don't have expectations of them to have to do that again. But because you kind of get spoiled having, you know, that kind of experience. But it's just going to be great being out here and feeling the magic of this property, this land, and, you know, it's going to be great. And we'll check back in later as well. And we're going to try to get Mama Sue on the phone and check in with her. Okay, I figured I'd walk to a slightly different area of the property just to give you a look here. So again, I just have to emphasize that if you're able to watch the podcast on this episode, that would be ideal. If you want to see some never before seen footage of Mutilation Ranch, at least from me and the people I know. Now, we can go to the bridge maybe later because we might do some metal detecting, looking for a clue, piece of jewelry involving the spirit of the missing woman, but that they were in contact with on this property. But in the meantime, I'm just going to show you some cool other areas here. The original owner of the property, we just went and saw, he just stopped by, Tom Miller. We chatted for a little while. He's going to be at the screening on Wednesday night or whenever, I don't know when this is going to come out, but he'll be part of the Q&A as well. But there is someone who's leasing the land, Mutilation Ranch, currently, all of the entire property, and they are, you know, using it for cattle, and they also rent the land out for hunting. So there's hunters out here during all different types of hunting seasons. And there's currently nobody hunting. Obviously, we can't come out here when there's people hunting on the property, obviously. So it's just not safe. But you can see here, these are something. I don't know if these are feed of some kind or something related to when there's hunters out here. I don't know what this is. I'm not a cowboy. Oh, and it actually looks like it gets low enough over here to where you can drive through. This is shallow enough area of the water where you can drive through with an all-terrain vehicle, an ATV and or four-wheel drive. I bet my Subaru would make it, but that is, I think, been not part of the property anymore. It may have been sold. 1,300 acres out here at Mutilation Ranch. Those are the specs. And never been down through in here. Let's kind of investigate a little bit. It's still daytime, so I'm kind of bold and brave during this. Because I'm by myself. I do have a walkie-talkie. Greg's back at the base camp. It's just absolutely breathtaking and gorgeous out here. And I have to, I mean, this is a phenomenon that isn't new to anybody who's into the paranormal whatsoever. And it sounds silly when you even say it. The wind has really picked up in the last 30 minutes. It was completely peaceful and calm earlier. I'm looking for footprints in the mud. Just, you know, you never know if Omaha's been walking through here. Wow, this is cool. Now, what I'm looking at here is, it's like a natural, like the river, the side of the riverbed, almost like a natural damming. Oh, wow, there's just a huge collection of trees, logs, sticks. This is like the pile where they all go. Clear off this trail, this path, so you can traverse the land easily through vehicle, I'm guessing. What I was going to say was, it's going to sound silly saying this, but this property during the daytime, much like the property in Florida that I get to investigate, they're so different between nighttime in daytime. Now, granted, we're going to be out here during a full strawberry moon, which is in full effect tonight. Or it starts tonight. It really peaks, I believe, tomorrow and remains full on Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous land. And it feels, the energy here feels incredible. It feels soothing, yet electrically charged. I don't know if that makes sense, that something can be soothing, yet jazzed up simultaneously. That's what's happening out here. Wow. Now, if you're not watching the podcast, you're just listening, I'm sure you can hear the soothing sounds of the wake there, of the river water washing over rocks. And like I said, suddenly very windy, very, very perfectly still all day until about 30 minutes ago. So we'll see what that means for us tonight. I'd love kind of a calm night because that would make for a better bonfire where we're not having to avoid smoke and inhalation the whole time. But maybe all of this wind moves all these clouds out of the way too. That's the sun. You can't even barely see it. Cloud cover's pretty thick and dense here today. Mutilation Ranch, like I said earlier, is a pretty famous location. Chuck Zukowski was, I think, the original person who was called out here for the cattle mutilations. Chuck Zukowski, of course, became pretty well known for the book Paranormal Highway or Paranormal Superhighway. I'm trying to remember. The 37th Parallel? Oh gosh, I interviewed the guy on the podcast, the author who wrote it, the book. Chuck Zukowski coined that phrase, Paranormal Highway. And, you know, other people have tried to use it. Chuck's pretty protective of it. I mean, it's a great name. I mean, Chuck did come up with it, so props to Chuck. But didn't love the way that book ended, by the way. It was a real, like, cliffhanger teaser, which didn't seem necessary. Seemed a little over the top for my liking. But nonetheless, pretty good book, worth checking out. Walk into the bridge and to the underpass of this bridge of the Purgatory River. This is the bridge that is on the 1 mile stretch of highway. So I'm going to cut down here and see if we can get a little bit of look. I mean, look in the distance there. It's absolutely gorgeous. Such a thrill and such a real privilege to be able to come out here and explore around. Like I said, this might be one of the last times we get to come out here for at least for quite a while. Those are thorns. This is the underpass. So if you've seen the On Skinwalker Ranch, I don't want to keep harping on this. This is where they conducted their experiments. You can see we're under the bridge that goes onto Mutilation Ranch. Now behind me, the cattle will move. There's looks like an electrical fence back here, but they can come through this area. Now during the experiments that they did on that show, oh, I just stepped in it. Literally just stepped in it. Yowzers. Oh, wow. That was heavy duty cow patty. Wow. I gotta stop moving around when I'm talking so much. So right about here is where they had a giant Tesla coil set up. And they were charging up some. They were trying to see if they could cause a reaction. They also had some super duty, really incredible skywatch equipment. And these birds are going bonkers. And these are all their nests up here. I ain't gonna mess with your babies now. So what's interesting is they have footage of activity in the nighttime sky when they did that. And I'm here to tell you, after less than a year ago, last September, August area, when saw upwards hundreds and hundreds of lights dancing around in the nighttime sky. There's a weird plane flying around. It doesn't shock me at all that there's anomalous activity in the nighttime sky. Now, are we going to see that tonight? We're going to find out. And if we do, you will be seeing it on this podcast momentarily. But I just wanted to show you. It's kind of a nondescript area here, right? But this is where they had their crew and their experiments set up. And this is the bridge where Tom Miller, just above this, the rancher, saw a female die in a tragic car accident. Now, on this bridge and on this 1 mile stretch of highway that we are standing underneath, there have been, like Greg said, I think he said 15 or 16 traffic-related accident deaths. So it's a tragic spot. Energy here is wild. You've got all these like clay pigeon or whatever these birds are, their nests, and they're not happy that I'm hanging out here right by their babies or where they have their babies. So we'll get out of here. And I'm gonna go up here so you can get a better look at the bridge itself. But what's interesting here is it's not just Greg Feinman, it's not just Mama Sue talking about craziness happening here at Mutilation Ranch. You've had all kinds of TV shows. Travis Taylor is his name, actually, from Skinwalker Ranch. Him and Eric, can't remember Eric's last name. They were out here, and according to Tom, they were just driving up and down the bridge, taking measurements, and actually found some anomalous readings while they were here. I have been told by people to avoid driving over this bridge. By people, I mean specifically my friend Carolyn in Florida has been pretty adamant about it. It's the only way to get to this property from where we were. We took it slow and did not drive too fast. So as you can see, this is the bridge. We were just standing underneath there. The birds are still swirling around. This, unfortunately, is a spot where a lot of bad things have happened. A lot of tragedy has happened on this 1 mile stretch of highway. It is beautiful. Look out, you can see how beautiful it is. But like I said, sometimes beautiful things are dangerous. I don't know if I said that before. Other people have most certainly said that. But it's like, I feel like when I'm in the desert, like there's so many beautiful things in the desert, and every single one of them want to kill you or hurt you in some way. I guess that's life. So Greg, explain to me how this is probably the most important part of this camping investigation, what we're getting ready to do right now.
Well, this begins our endeavors tonight. Without this, there'd be a lot more of going in there. You know, a lot more of that. But yeah, and I shouldn't even be doing this. I had previously refrained from drinking coffee, but I realized that, my body is destroyed and I need help staying awake sometimes. And so, without this, well, let me ask you, without this, how would it go for you?
I mean, it's a good question. I mean, we have some, a couple sodas here, but we need it. You know what I mean? I just did a nice 40-minute meditation, and so I'm feeling pretty chill right now. I could have probably closed my eyes if I didn't get up.
Yeah. And I remember you saying last night, man, if we forget the coffee, we will drive back and get it. I said, yes. And so this is the first, this is the first pot of coffee in this particular device here.
And the first thing on this stove.
First thing on the stove. So I think you turn it on like that. Start it up. Got it going. Took off on the first click. So we'll see.
And then I've got some creamer and...
Do you have creamer?
I just don't know if I brought my sweetener, but it doesn't matter if I did. We got creamer. That's all we need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So...
McCafe, dude. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The breakfast blend light roast. Yep.
Light roast. Someone told me that the lighter the roast, the more the caffeine.
Yeah, I just learned that from my friend.
Yeah, that's interesting. I would have thought the opposite.
Yeah, my friend Nikki just told me that.
I would have thought the opposite.
Me too. I always thought the opposite for years, but I was like, I can't drink the dark roast, man. Didn't like it. But
yeah.
So now I don't have to.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how it would have went without the coffee. I really don't.
Be a couple sleepy boys out here.
Yeah, it would be rough. It'd be rough because we're staying up until all the hours of the late, past everywhere everyone's going to bed and waking back up again. That's where we're going to be.
That's what we're shooting for. If we have to take a nap at some point, that's
allowed.
They're
going to be napping.
Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Gonna be napping.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Last time we were out here, last summer, I got to be honest, I probably slept for maybe an hour the whole time we were here. And it wasn't until it started getting light out that I felt comfortable enough to sleep.
And then Tom showed up and...
Yeah, I mean, he showed up right when I fell asleep.
Yeah. And then from there, we're like, we'll just pack up and go.
Because it started raining too.
I don't know how you drove off because you only had that 1 hour of sleep.
And then I drove to Flagstaff.
Yeah.
Before driving to LA the next day. So yeah, I drove for about, I don't know how many hours that is. But anyway, that's life. Okay, so we got some more supplies here for later. We got to cook these veggie patties.
Yeah, and, let me see here. I thought ahead, man.
Oh my gosh. Jumbo marshmallows.
Jumbo marshmallows.
Campfire
man.
giant
I tell you
roasters.
what, you said you forgot your pillow?
I did. I forgot a pillow.
This could be a pillow.
They're really good.
And then I got these.
Skewers. S'more skewers.
Yeah.
We are hooked up tonight.
And chocolate. And
we're going to be so juiced up. Yep.
Yes.
Classic s'mores combo.
Yeah.
All right.
S'mores.
And the wind has luckily calmed down for now. Love that.
Word. That was like, my tent was like going sideways.
Yeah. So we'll see. We are approximately hour and a half until it starts getting a little darker. So I'll keep you posted and obviously be capturing anything that we can in the sky. 6:30.
6:30.
Got the fire going. Greg did a good job getting that fire going. It was kind of sputtering out on me, wasn't it, Greg? We got probably 40 minutes till sunset. So that's going to be plenty of wood for us tonight as we stay up late all night trying to see what's in the sky. Okay, so we were talking about, because there's all these bugs out here. We're talking about, Greg and I have a mutual disdain for spiders. I was woken up the other night by one crawling on my arm. It bit me, and now I've got this itch, bite mark that won't go away. There was one on a log just a minute ago, and you had a friend?
Yeah, I have a friend of mine that he had a tarantula named Geraldine, and you know, I let him walk on me one time, but I, you know, just, you know, he wasn't. I mean, he was tame. You know, Geraldine, or she was tame. She'd walk over to Rich and walk up on his arm and everything, but it's just the feeling of it, you know? It's just the feeling of it. You know, I mean, I've been around snakes. There's another friend of mine that worked at Twin Pine Casino. He was a blackjack dealer, and he had I think a 12-foot anaconda or python or boa, big,
probably a
big,
python,
big one, and he lets it around his kids, and you know it lets it, you know, roam the house, and then I gave him a 85-gallon fish tank for that thing, and then when I was over there one night, he let me hold it, and I got to say that when I can't remember his name, the name of the snake, but it was the most gentle creature that I ever like held on to. It was so gentle, you know. It, even though it weighed a lot, kind of thing, it just was. Yeah, it was just. I didn't have a bad experience with it at all. But spiders, on the other end, yeah, I'm not good with spiders. You know, I was just telling a story about a guy that was caving, and he went down into a cave, and as he descended, he got down to the bottom and realized the entire cave was filled with black widows all over the walls, the floors, his rope, you know, going back up when he ascended. So that's a horrible story.
That's my nightmare. That's
a nightmare.
Yeah, that is the cave of hell, I think they call it.
Yeah, I think that's what it was called.
And you heard that story on the it's the podcast or the show on YouTube called
Mr. Ballin.
Mr. Ballin is
Strange, Dark, and Mysterious.
Strange, Dark, and Mysterious, which I've been watching with Greg these last couple nights. Pretty fascinating show. He just retells stories, scary, like mysterious, dark, strange stories, whether they're true crime or whether they're just weird things that have happened, and he just kind of retells them, and you know, gives some photos along the way, but it's all video, and it, you know, definitely. I mean, he gets millions of views on these things. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's good. I've watched a lot of his stories, and I don't have nothing better to do. You know, I'm not.
The way he said that was just, it's funny. I just have to remind real quick, because there's probably some people listening to the podcast right now, and I implore them to go to Spotify and watch the video of the podcast, of this episode specifically, if it's the only one you watch, or become a $3 patron and you can get ad-free videos that I post up there as well, because the sunset out here at Mutilation Ranch is upon us. This is like the golden hour. It is, on camera especially too, I mean, but also in real life, it is breathtaking out here right now. And I want Greg to see how it looks on camera over there. Take the tripod and aim north, and you'll see the yellows really pop in the skyline.
Oh yeah.
That's just breathtaking, right?
It is.
And that's where we're going to see our first lights, probably here in a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe even right now. Doesn't have to be dark for it to happen. I'm going to relog.
Yeah, I'm gonna call out to him here in a little bit, though.
Okay.
I called out to him a little bit in my meditation, but I'm gonna call out to him again.
Yeah, I did a little bit too. Tried to get myself ready. Right. Here, I'll take that. Actually, let me put a big log on there. Maybe get one that'll cook for a while. Let's get this bad boy in there. What do you think?
Yeah. Want to throw this in there?
Some some veggie burgers today.
Yeah, veggie burgers. They weren't bad.
Oh.
They weren't bad.
All right. We've got potentially great news about the screening, but we'll talk more about that later maybe. But in the meantime, look at that fire. That is ablazing now. Okay, we'll check back in when it gets a little darker with more, hopefully less spider stories that'll make it impossible for me to sleep tonight. Just want to let that record video for a little while. See if anything pops up.
This diode, what it does is it records the vibrations of an EVP. All right. So the way it works is you set this thing out, you set it on recording, and you let it go all night. And then at the end of the night, when you collect it, you take it, you download it into the into an editing software, sound editing software. And when you put in the file, it should be nothing but a blank line. It shouldn't be anything. There shouldn't be any sound whatsoever. But if there's a blip anywhere in there, it's more than likely an EVP.
And what's it called?
A Rhodebe diode.
Okay. So yeah, that's one of the devices we've got out here with us tonight.
Yeah, this is, I haven't used it a lot, but it's something I want to try using a little more often. I think we're getting things out here. We're just missing it a lot of times. And I'm hoping Monica comes up. I'm going to be calling for her. We're going to be doing it right here, you know. So we'll see what happens.
I'd love to see, I'm going to use this too. I'm going to walk over and show you. We've got this MF1 device. And this will pick up EMF and movement. I'm going to move the cooler over closer to us, and we'll just put this on top of the cooler.
Okay.
And then this will allow her to even move it. It'll pick up movement.
I've got a couple, 3 devices. I got a, if you want, we can put out the REM pods that I have.
Yeah, we'll put out the REM pods too.
I have the 2 that just make sound, you know, and then one that's kind of like picks up, you know, if they're close or whatever. You can tell by the lights. But anyways,
okay. Well, I'll go get this cooler and move it over, and then we'll have a place to set these things up.
Yeah,
and it's darkness is
start
coming.
Recording right now. What time is it?
8:27 p.m.
Okay, it's 8:27 p.m. June 9th. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, June 9th, 2025. I went ahead and started recording on this, so we'll see what we get throughout the night. And I'm just gonna set it down.
I'll move the cooler over. Sunset is upon us. Greg is getting some more paranormal gear set up. We moved the Jeep around. That's our mess hall. Greg's tent, my tent, Jeep. We got the cooler with the candy. Bonfire. I got a camera set up there that we're going to activate for sky watching soon. We've got these goggles that record IR. And we also got another camera back there. Gorgeous out here. Are you operating a walkie-talkie or anything over there? Wow, that thing is straight blue. Hello? Someone interacting with the MF1 device? Can you light it up for me again, please? I don't know why the light came on. The light on the camera. Got it. Can't tell if it's moving now. Now it doesn't feel like it's moving at all. It's kind of making me feel like I'm crazy. Right? Can you move for us, please? Now it doesn't feel like it's moving, does it? If it were to move for just in a like move directly to your right, to our right, that would be something. Now I feel like it's a star. And for some reason my eyes are wobbling and make it look like it's moving.
You know, it's not. It looked like it for 1 second. It looked like it was moving to the right, but
I saw that exact same thing. That's weird. Kind of feels like it's blinking in and out now with the naked eye. Okay. I'm just gonna have to accept that we'll see if it's there for a while. We know that, or this is what we believe to be an airplane just flying over. Just so you can see what that looks like. You can kind of see it blinking when I'm zoomed all the way in. Let me zoom out.
I don't know. Is that an airplane?
I feel like I'm seeing blinks on it, yeah. Like behind the main light, there's a blinking light, which makes me feel like it's definitely an airplane. Yeah. I'm like 99% sure that's an airplane. And now I'm convinced that over there was not moving and I was kind of seeing things. But yeah, that's definitely an airplane. Okay, sorry, buddy. Okay, so it's a little after 10 o'clock. We just had some s'mores. We were trying to contact the spirit of the missing woman through devices. No luck so far. We'll try again later. Greg's got the night vision binoculars out. Is that obstructing your view when I do this with the flashlight behind you?
No.
How far do you think those goggles are?
I don't know, man. I'm not sure. They say they go 1,300 feet.
Okay, it's about a quarter mile.
Yeah. There we go.
Now this is about the time last summer when we first saw the lights, after Greg was doing some meditation. So we're thinking we are now entering into the action zone. As you can tell, had a false alarm earlier, although I don't see that star anymore out there, but it's probably because it's cloudy. And now we can definitely identify some flight paths that are occurring from east, or from west to east. It's pretty quiet out here, but we can see some stars. This is great. And the full moon is coming. Look at that. Full moon is coming. Behind clouds right now. Keeping the fire kind of dim right now to keep the light down for viewing.
You hear that?
That's a dog in the background. Yeah. Did you hear something other than the dog?
Yeah.
What did you hear?
It sounded like a high-pitched something.
Where did it come from?
In the woods. Over that way.
Shine your flashlight where you think you heard it. I'll just do a quick little peek. Okay. I need to see where I'm going here. There's that moon. Is there anyone here with us? Can you give a wood knock or call out if this is Oma? Hello, Oma, if that's you. Is that you out here? Hello? Sorry we didn't bring the apples. Can you give me a wood knock or a noise, a call to let me know you're here? And I can go back to the campsite if you'd rather I'd stay out of the woods here. I think I hear Greg in the background behind me. Okay. I'm not really hearing anything. And I'm also not 100% super hyped up just to go in there by myself. So that's water. I thought I heard steps, but that is definitely water I'm hearing. That's the running water of the river.
I don't know why you're standing far away from us. There's no need for it. We care for you. That's why we're here. Come on, honey. Please. I'm not asking you to jump through hoops, honey. I'm not. But I'm not Mama Sue, and I need to know that you're here by touching the EMF meter. Letting it go off. When you touch it, it goes off, honey. Okay. Nothing.
I can't tell. No, it's not moving. I thought I had something moving above us. No movement. We'll keep trying tonight to contact her. Maybe she'll warm up once we're here longer, you know? It's been a while. So when I walked back up, Greg was trying to contact the spirit of the missing woman that him and Mama Sue made contact with on the property. SB7 spirit box?
Yeah.
Hello?
Come on, honey. Talk to me. Can you talk to me? Talk to me, honey. Is there anyone here that wants to communicate with me? Is there anyone here that wants to communicate me through this device?
You hear that? Or turn that down real quick. I'm hearing high-pitched noise over here. Hello? I thought I heard and it must have been loud. From what I thought I heard while that was going, I thought I heard a whoo from over there. But, you know, it could be, I mean, that was pretty loud, so. But it definitely drew my attention. Anyway, strange. Is there anyone who wants to talk to us out here tonight? We are willing to listen and hopeful to make contact.
Is there anyone that wants to talk to us tonight?
Fitz, can you use this device to talk to us? I just turned my camera off.
What was that?
What was that? It was a dog? That was the weirdest. It was like a... Did you hear what I said? I said right when I turned my camera on, something weird happened. What was that? It came from right over there, right? Did you hear it from in front of us?
Yeah.
It sounded like it was across the street. Okay. Let's see what happens if I turn my light off. You make that noise again for us? What was that? Okay, I'll stop filming again and see what happens. If it makes a noise right when I hit stop again, we know something. We know it's weirder than just a dog, right? Agreed? Greg's shaking his head, yes.